Alright, we'll get set up in a little bit, see if anybody participates. One of those consolidation locomotives. Got one person, so it's a tender drive. Well, let's just see what we can do with it. Well, we had one person. A couple of screwdrivers. So 153. All right. Should have had my soldering iron set up. Yeah, so this is one I got at Amherst, and I did a quick cleanup on this with just some water and a toothbrush last night, and I could see already, where did that go? Yeah, one of these wheels are cracked. I'm missing traction tires on here. I have some, but I don't know if they're going to fit. And somebody actually went, I don't know if you can see that, they melted a hole through this tender and ran the wires through the tender, through that hole instead of in here. One person watching. Who's that? So let me take the tender apart here. I guess I'm going to need my soldering iron eventually. Zero watching. All right, let me get the soldering iron. All right, one person is watching. So I'll let that get heated up. In the meantime, can we take this apart? Yes, we can. So we have these little clips in here. Where did that go? These little clips right here we have to take off. one on each side. So there's one here too. All right. All right. So it's not going anywhere. Let's see if we can get that. Well, if nobody watches, we'll watch it later. Oh, I know. Been a while since I took one of these apart. So these wheels have to come off first. That. And then we should be able to take this out. There we go. Get that apart. Okay, got that all apart. Well, actually, we do need to take that apart. All right. Put this way. Put this that way. Go like that. Go like that. Set those aside. Yeah, so both of these are cracked, aren't they? That's okay there. Oh, that wheel's cracked. Probably have some of those at home. Or I might have some with me. Yeah, and that one's cracked. Common problem on these. That's why I buy extra. So both of these wheels are cracked. Well, it doesn't look too bad in here. I've seen worse. One thing that's important to do before you do much with these, make sure that this is going to spin, because a lot of times this gear gets jammed up on here and you end up breaking that pin off. So you want to make sure that that is moving freely. So we don't want to break that pin off. And of course, when we take that gear off, we got to be very, very careful. All right, I think the soldering iron's hot. So we're going to take this wire off at the top. Okay, maybe not hot enough. There we go. And which one goes there? We take this wire off. You know, we're probably going to end up redoing all these. Sorry, my hand's in the way. Having a problem with the soldering iron, or is it just not hot enough yet? All right, we'll let that soldering iron sit for a minute, let it get hot. Yeah, we want to take these gears off here, like that. Okay, here's the one. That's the problem. Don't break, don't break, don't break. You know what? That is coming off. You know what? Let me get a little bit of lubricant on there. Just to make sure. That's it. We'll make sure that comes off nice and easy. Cowboy Steve. So did you print an RV yet? I'm working on a Tyco here. Try and get this cleaned up. There we go. Got that apart. Very good. All right. So we got it apart, and we're not looking too bad on the commutator here. Give it a little bit of cleanup. That. This is one that I bought at Amherst a couple weeks ago. Okay, that's nice and shiny. It looks pretty good on this side. You know, I bring that other brush with me, the black one. So I don't even have my bench set up yet. Okay, okay. Yeah. That was a fun project. Actually, I had that in mind a long time ago, and you know, projects they just I got several different projects going on at one time. Good. That looks like it's cleaning up pretty good here. Not much problem with that. This is looking pretty crusty on the side of that. See if we can get some of this crud off of here. It's still dirty. All right, let me go get, I'm going to get some alcohol and some swabs. Right back. All right. Some of these guys. We're just kind of get the extra gunk off of here. Make it look nice. Good tail. right, with the alcohol dry. Okay, let's move this out of here. Usually you find some carpet fuzz in here. Little bit, not a ton. That's not bad, really. Got here a little late. Did you test it? No, I didn't test it at all. I just assumed that they don't work, and I just take them apart. Actually, it looks like it probably did run, but yeah, when I get them from train shows, I just figure they don't work and go from there. Looks like all the parts are here, so that's good. So yeah, this is Clementine. They made Tyco made like 7 or 9 different models like this. These are tender drives, and so they made the royal blue, Chattanooga, and I forget the other ones, but this is one that I don't have yet, so that's why I bought it. All right, we're looking pretty good in there. That would clean this one up just a little bit more. A little more alcohol in here. I have to go over and find my little power supply that I use to test these with. Still one, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is something that I just figured I'd try and do this at work, because actually it turns out today that I'm the only one here. I don't want to get political or anything, but boy, things have really changed. People are working at home, things like that. We used to have like 8 people in this office. Now we're down to 4. One's on medical leave, one quit, another one, well, whatever. She was told to come back to work and didn't want to come back to work. And so that was that. So right now somebody's on vacation. I can't tell. There's like a tiny line in here. I guess that's not a crack, just a scratch on there or something. All right, that's pretty clean. Gotta get back to these here. Yeah, so it turns out I'm the only one here today. So I thought, let's try this. Should have made an announcement, but I wasn't sure exactly when I was going to get a chance to do this. Okay, that one's good. This should be, here it is. Another one of those I need to clean. I'm going to have to go through the whole box of Q-tips here. You find an old O-scale steam loco. Lionel, maybe? They're nice. I'm what you call a Lionel junkie, or a Lionel post-war. I like all the old Lionels made after 19, I guess they like 1955 or something like that. I'm at work. I work for Temple University in Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. So this is a remote campus. It's not at main campus. All right, so we got the brushes in here and they look just fine. They're clean. Watch that soldering iron. What else do you do? Oh, so yeah, I was originally hired as the audio video guy to maintain smart classrooms, I guess you call them. You know, so I was hired. I guess we're working on 22 years now. Cameras, you know, recorders, microphones, all that kind of stuff. And then my job has turned into, you know, since everybody started going online, so it's turned on to managing online accounts and things like that. So kind of anything that has to do with technology. So yeah, anything that has to do with technology ends up getting dumped on me, including taking the jams out of the copier and all that kind of fun stuff. Every time somebody messes up a printer or they can't figure out how to get photos off of their camera, all that kind of stuff. Anything technology, they call me. So I'm the only guy here. I had another guy working here, and he's out on medical. So, where we at with this? All right, that looks clean, and should be ready. Northwest Ohio, project management for CBRE, work from home. Yeah, you know, I had that option of working from home, and I can't get anything done. There's too many distractions, and I'm better off here. I got my nice desk. All my documents that I use are here. All that kind of stuff. You know what? Okay, try and get these brushes in. I got a trick for that. If I can find my cards. Yeah, here we go. So we're going to use an index card to get these brushes back in. Steve, you HO? O scale? Or are you just thinking about getting in trains? Okay, so yeah, you make a little shim like this here. Put our brushes, wait a minute. That part goes to the bottom. Yeah, so I need to put this down. This is hard to do, especially hard to do on camera here. So we got our little brushes in here. And we put this on there like that. That holds our brushes in. Wrap that around, hold on to it. Carefully put that back together. There we go. And we kind of gently get that out of there, and your brushes are in there. Boom. That on there, and that on here. So that one not connected to anything. That's all right. Got about 10 new and used modern locos, bunch of rolling stock, no layout yet, making a diorama programming track. Okay, so you're going to go with DCC. Hey, my man Dell's in the house. All right, yeah, just goofing off of work here and working on a Tyco. Let me go find my power supply that I used to test these. I'll be right with you, Dell and Steve. Oh my. Ah, got it. Yeah, so I use one of these at home. It's just a 12-volt power supply, and good way to test these things. So find an outlet. Oh man. On that cooler. Okay. So here's our test leads. Let me show that up a little bit. Crap. Lead. This and that. I need to get a drop of oil on there, and all I have is this stuff, and I don't want to make a mess out of it. Do I have an easier way? Well, we're just going to go. Hopefully, it won't. There we go. Just a drop. Not the recommended way to do it, but hey, we're at work and we have limited resources. So before we go much further, all right. Okay, we've got a working motor. Good. So we can put these in. And a little tiny. Come on, man. Getting dust all over the place. Can't get rid of that. Dell, Allentown this weekend? Yes, no? Make do with what you got. Yeah. All right. And back here. Careful. Yeah, see these power torque Tycos, this little pin right here sometimes breaks off, so you got to be careful putting this gear in. And of course, taking it out too. So you gotta. Come on, man. Get in there. Okay. We're in. All right. I'll be there Saturday. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I usually go to Allentown on Saturday. What was I going to do next? Well, we might as well test that again since we got the gears in. We'll see what we're doing here. I gotta say that does sound pretty good. I like it. I like it. All right. Oh, crap over. Yeah, so those gears are cracked. They're not the gear, the wheel. So what do I have in the bag here? So I buy these Tyco tender drives whenever I find them, because a lot of times parts break. Yeah, see, I got a whole parts box and doesn't have any of those particular wheels in them, so that's not going to work. And I have a whole other one here. Let me see. That's even got traction tires on it. All right, so we take another one apart to get the wheels out of it. Or should I just should I leave this one the way it is? I hate to take this whole thing apart because actually everything in here is pretty good. Yeah. All right, so I have a whole other tender here, but I guess what I'm going to do is just leave this one as is instead of taking it apart. And I'm going to put this together with the cracked wheels and maybe find other ones at home. We're just trying to get this to kind of run, you know, get it started and then go from there. So this only has, okay, like caramba. Okay, so that's split right in the middle. We freezing up there? Never seen a tender drive before. Yeah, they're called consolidation. They're made by Tyco in the 1970s. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, these all got the same problem. Here's another one. Exact same thing. Oh, man. Brutal. All right, well, we'll just put it together with what we got and get the motor fixed and then see what we got in the boxes at home or whatever. Yeah, I'm missing traction tires on there too. All right, see, it's filthy right there. Let me clean that up a little bit. So actually, good thing is these wheels here with the gears on them and the traction tires, they sometimes crack too, but in this case, they're in good shape. So have either of you been to the Amherst train show up there in Connecticut? I wasn't sure I was going to go. And I thought, why would I drive 4 hours to a train show? And it just turned out that nothing else was going on that weekend. I thought, well, all right, I guess I'll go. So I went. What else do I have to do? I have to put this in here. Let me clean this up just a little bit. Heaven, someday I'll go. Never been north of New York City. Yeah, like I said, it was something that I was like, a couple people would ask me, and I was like, no, I'm not going up there. And then just by chance, it turned out that nothing else was going on that weekend, and I was like, well, you know what? I guess I got nothing else to do. I can drive 4 hours to Massachusetts. So so Amherst is 4 buildings of trains, you know, and vendors, and actually a lot of the dealers go there. Trying to think, like 8th there, and I don't know. Micro Mark was there. So I gotta take this apart. Let me know what, you know what, if I can get those traction tires on there. I think I'm out of traction tires too. Only about 4 months into this odyssey. Okay. Well, Steve, my recommendation is get started. You know, even if it's not permanent, you know, get yourself. I don't know. You can get like 3 foot by 5 foot layout, or put it on cardboard until you decide what to do. But get started. You know. All right. You know what? We're going to do these here. Clean these up right there. Yeah, there's no rushing. Oh no, let's say just get something, get running, get started. Um, we all start somewhere. Um, my first layout was literally in a closet because that's the space that I had. So I had an empty closet, and that's how I got started. And then there are several videos. Yeah, there's a lot of videos on that show. Um, wow, this thing's filthy. It started somewhere. What did you say about 3D printing? Oh, Delsa, yeah, you could 3D print cracked ears. Um, I could with if I had the resin printer, and I think I'm going to try that, but I don't have the resin printer yet. I just spent $300 on a new Creality uh, filament printer. So I'm like, well, I guess I better wait till next month. Although the resin printer, I mean, I can get a resin printer for like $100. It's got a small build plate, but you know, you know, I guess the resin printer is good for printing detailed stuff. So you're not going to need that big of a build plate anyhow. I forget, Del. Do you do printing? You do 3D printing? Yeah, I had the old printer I had was an ANET, which is a Prussia clone, and that was like I bought that like 5 years ago. It was like $140, and it did its job. It was okay, and I said, you know what? Let me spend some money since I've been using this thing and get a better printer. So yeah, I guess that was 2 or 3 weeks ago that I bought that. So they're fun. You can build houses and things like all the other parts for your layout, like I don't know, mailboxes, furniture, whatever, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna probably put this on the wrong way. Let's see. Why are these such a pain to get in there? There we go. I don't know if I did this right or not, as far as which way it goes. And then we got this little clip. Yeah, these tiny little clips got to go in there. There's too many friends who already do it. There you go. Yeah, oh, you know why I bought it there, Del? I bought it because of that incline project. Because I sat there and tried to figure out how I was going to make that incline, and then I said, you know what? How about a 3D printer? So that's what started it, and then started doing a bunch of other things. Still trying to get organized, going to play around with some weathering, want to upgrade some Genesis SD75Ms with Blunami boards. The closest modeling club to me is only DC. Okay. Oh, I'm a DC only guy, but if you like your DCC, that's cool. See, my theory on it, Steve, is like I said, I'm the technology guy at work. So I do so much stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I don't need something else at home that I need to program or yeah. I like the simple DC engines. Plus the fact, I can get, I buy these things here, these old DC engines, Tycos or whatever, for $5 or whatever. So, and actually, if you watch my Amherst video, turned out this one was free. I was just standing there talking to a guy about stuff, whatever, and he had them in the box there. It said make an offer or whatever. And so after I was talking to him for a little bit, and I'm sorry I don't remember his name. He's such a cool guy. And so I said, all right, I got to get walking around. I said, so what do you want for these? And I picked up this one and another one. And he said, you can have it. Well, I guess first he said, what are you going to do, sell it? I said, no, I don't sell it. I fix them and I either keep them or I give them away. He's like, all right, you can have it. I said, all right. Boom. Okay. So that's in there. What do I need to do? Oh, I need to get, yeah. So I don't know if you missed that part. Somebody went and burned a hole through this and ran those wires through. What a dummy. No. Get these off of here. Get this out of the way. Not working for me here. Come on. Wonder if it's a soldering iron. About 1975. Yeah. When I started making these particular type of locomotives from 75 to 79, I think. Yeah, this soldering iron. Don't have the one I work on at home, or that I use at home. It's just not the same here. Definitely feel like it's hot enough. I wonder if that's is that crappy solder? Yeah, they make this all tin solder or whatever. There's no lead in it, and stuff doesn't melt. Let me go see if I got some better solder. Some of them have smoke units. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. And actually, this one, if you look real close in here, you see that? Yeah. So there's a little lever in here that would be a smoke unit. So yeah, this one should have a smoke unit in it. So I have one at home that has a smoke unit. Well, I don't know if the Chattanooga does or not, but the Royal Blue has a smoke unit in it. And it's kind of funny because the smoke kind of just comes out all over the front of it. So, but yeah, it actually smokes. Let's see if I got some other solder. I don't think this stuff is any better. Papa John trains, yeah. Fascinated by the whole DCC technology. A long way from line out steam when I was a kid. I was excited. The light came on. Yeah, isn't that kind of funny with those Lionels? You're like, well, look, this one has lights. That was a big deal, right? lights and then smoke. That's kind of working here. I guess, well, if you can see what I'm doing or not. All right, basically I have to unsolder these wires here because somebody drilled a hole in the tender. Oh, come on, man. Like to say, I'm usually pretty good at soldering, but man, when you don't have the right soldering iron, it really makes it a pain. All right. Me. No, since I got this apart, there's a lot of dirt right here. I want to clean that off. Steve's Zoom meeting on top of the hour. Okay, Steve, thanks for hanging out. The only HO train I ever had was a Tyco Spirit of 76 set. Tiny eyes and hands. Yeah. I'll be right back in a second. Yeah, the Spirit of 76 was kind of funny. I never thought, oh man, running cords over. Never thought much of it. And, you know, I was at train shows and I saw it and I said, well, all right, it's a couple dollars. And then I kept finding them for cheap. So in other words, something that I wasn't really that excited about, but I kept finding for cheap. So I had 3 Spirit of 76 engines, and I gave one to my nephew. So all right, take these two, put them through there like that. This one, I don't know if that's going to solder too well. I should probably redo that. Oh, okay. Caramba. Well, I can't do much about it. It's yeah, the web camera is pretty cheap, but I don't know what I can do about it. Document. Let me get some wire strippers. I'm going to put new ends on these wires here. I forgot the flux. As long as my audio is okay, I guess, through that web camera. I should probably grab the flux. You know what? Let me. Oh, you know what? Here, if I stop it and then restart it, did that help? Nope, still frozen. Huh, that's crazy. Why is it frozen? Huh. All right, well, try and get a little bit of solder on this wire here. Still not pressed with the soldering iron, man. I don't know, Dell. You got your soldering irons much? And I think it's just not getting hot. I mean, it's like I can feel heat, but that tip is just. Yeah, this is okay. Again, you know, I have my soldering iron at home that works, but all right, let's see if this will solder on here without it. You know what? Get some flux on that. Dell, are you working right now? I was gonna say, if you want, I could punch you up. You want to talk about your? You got a camera? You want to talk about your new channel you got going on? There we go. A little flux on that helped it out. I can't believe this stupid camera doesn't work. Yeah. Let's see if I remove it, then it's going to mute it. And I had another wire somewhere. Oh no, these two wires here. All right. So. All right. So I got to connect all three of these wires together. We'll cut that off. Cut that off. And we'll cut that off. That. Put 3 new ends on these wires. I'm off. I could, but how? All right, so in there is that's the link for the stream. So if you got a web camera and a mic, all you got to do is click on that stream or click on that link, and then you'll be in here. And I'll see your camera come up. All right, that's fine. Yeah, it'll work on your phone. So put these 3 wires together. Like that. A little bit of flux on there. We'll solder these together. Yeah, it should work on your phone. Ouch. It's hot. Okay. Good, good, good. See, I can, you know what? I can still leave that in there. I can just go to that camera. And then when you come up, you're not in there yet. All right. Yeah, so you should still hear me. I'm just on that one camera. 3 in here. Papa John, Bill, somebody else lurking. All right. So what I need to do is solder that little thing onto that wire. Melting it. A little bit of flux. Sorry, it's hard to see. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm in the solder. Success. Of course, I soldered it right to the paper towel. Very good. Papa John, where are you from, Papa John? Device is not connected. You have your camera enabled there, Dell? Let's see here. Don't melt your phone.
Okay, let me hook it up to my tripod here.
Headphones on.
Okay. Hey, how you doing, Dave? Hey, I brought you a beer.
Oh, thanks. Oh, nice.
It's not Busch Light or Busch, but you know it'll do.
It'll do. Let me.
I lost your audio when you switched cameras.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to keep the webcam on, or else I'm not gonna have any audio there. So.
Yeah. What's up with that webcam? Hold on 1 minute.
So, thanks for the invite. Yep, lost your audio again. So you want me to fill the dead air, huh? Aha, it's working. But I can't hear you. It froze again on my end. It's real slow, your webcam.
1, 2.
I can hear you now.
Okay.
But it's like there's a little lag when you move. Yeah, when you sat back, it went from you. Yeah. But anyway, I'll be able to hear you. We could chat.
Okay.
So
Good.
Oh.
Yeah, so tell us about your new channel.
Well, the new channel, I don't know how these guys grabbed me out of the woodwork here because I'm so used to hiding in the background. You know that. You know, when we go to the train shows, we'll walk around with DA Griffin or Nick's Crossing, and we'll just hang out in the background while, you know, all the people that watched your channels come up and want to say hi. And I'm like, I don't want to do this YouTube stuff because I love going to train shows and shopping. You know, when you become a YouTube famous like those guys, they get mobbed a lot at the shows, and people want to, you know, it's nice to want to meet your audience too, so they enjoy it. But you and I can walk around every table and not have to worry about that, you know. But
Right.
it is nice to get that. When you find a viewer that watches your channel, it's nice to get that type of confirmation. But what I became part of is a new channel. It's a YouTube channel, and it's going to be a podcast when they start uploading it. It's called 3 Rails, 4 Dads. It's basically 4 guys that have kids that are married with various ages that love O-gauge trains. You know, we're all into the 3 rail trains. There's nobody that's too crazy in the high rail where it's 2 rail O-gauge, but that's why it's 3 Rails, 4 Dads. So I'm the oldest member of the group. I'm 52, and the youngest member is Ray's Trains, who is 35. We have a guy named Mike. He has a channel called Datified. He's 38. And you have Arts Model Trains, who's 49, out of New Jersey. They're all established YouTubers, and they invited me to join them, which I was hesitant because I like to hide, as I said earlier. But I also like to get my opinion out too, because my opinion varies, you know, because I've been around the hobby a lot longer than these guys that just came in around 2020 when that, I can't use that word online, but we all know what happened in 2020. So, but I've been around the hobby since I was a kid, I guess, you know, in some capacity, but it wasn't until my son was born in the early 1990s when it really took off.
Mhm.
And that's when I got into G-scale trains back then, and that was my passion. I used to bust my dad, who was a big Lionel guy, and say that, you know, that 3rd rail and those junky old Lionel trains. But now here I am. My dad's passed away since 2014, and I started off with just building a 4x8 tribute layout to him, since I was missing him a few years ago, and it sort of snowballed. And that's where I'm at now. But our channel is called 3 Rails, 4 Dads. We have 2 videos up so far, and they were reviewing the new 2024 Lionel catalog. So we gave our opinions. There were cheers and jeers. We're not going to hold back or kiss up the Lionel, because when they do something right, we're going to give them praises. When they do something that we don't agree with, or is like, where did that come from? You know, we're not gonna hold back our opinions, and that's what I like about the channel, is you're not afraid to say what you feel, or if you like something or not. So, but I did get my pre-order in under the wire 2 days ago.
Okay.
And did you see the new Lionel catalog?
I saw part of your video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And you know what I ordered out of this catalog?
What's that?
What do you think I would order out of this catalog? Well,
I'm trying to think. GG1s or GPs?
There was an SD45 in the Delaware and Hudson Railroad, my favorite railroad, the Delaware and Hudson, and I was excited when I saw it in the catalog, but I didn't pre-order it. And it blew their minds when I did a post on Instagram yesterday about my pre-order, and they're like, I thought you would have got that. And I said in my post, after any train store west of Pennsylvania is going to have these engines in stock, and they're not going to be able to sell them, because the main market for the D&H fans is in Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, you know, New England area. And most of the D&H trains I've bought over the years came out of Ohio, Indiana, all in the Midwest where road names like that aren't as popular, and I'll get them for a cheaper price. So that's what I said. I'll wait 2 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Delaware and Hudson, of course.
Yeah, and I'll pick the engines up I want in 2 years when they're on sale, when they can't sell them. I've gotten some great deals from just by searching the internet, and for mom and pop shops that not necessarily have their inventory up online, and they're just more than happy to get rid of stuff that's been sitting there 2 years that they can't sell. So that's why I didn't get it. And but I did. Here's what I did order. I got the Pennsylvania GP9, the Legacy one. It has dual motors. It has that radio antenna on the roof that runs the whole length of the body. I have a few Pennsylvania cars that I've never shared with anyone on my page because I didn't have an engine to run with them other than my old turbine, because you and I both have the 671 turbine now.
Right.
And mine has the 12-wheel Pennsylvania tender on it. So that's the only Pennsylvania engine I own. So now I'll have a real Legacy dual motor engine that I can run now. It's a work train, basically what it is. It's a lot of well cars, depressed center flat cars that have generator loads and things on it. You know, I like work trains, you know what I mean? Because they're not your standard box car or passenger car. They add a little character to your layout. So it's one part of the railroad history and their way of maintaining the railroad. So it's nice to have all different types of aspects.
Mm-hmm.
So I ordered that, and I got they had 50-foot tanker cars, and even though I'm a huge pre-war fan, I also love modern railroading. And when I do my modern railroading, I don't want railroad names on a lot of my rolling stock. I like the leasing car companies. Mm-hmm. And so the GATX tanker car they offered appealed to me, but they only offered it in white. They offered black tankers, but I don't want I'm trying to think of oh my God, I'm losing the Cargill and Arthur ADM. They offer those in black tankers, but I don't want those on because when I see the local railroad in Pennsylvania, it's mostly lease company tankers and the center flow hoppers. You don't see all these railroad logos plastered all over there. So that's why I like a lot of Atlas too, because they try to make it more specific with their rolling stock, and they'll have like a New York Central on a modern car, which to me makes no sense. So that's basically, those are the only two items I ordered. I was going to get the SW8 Legacy switcher in the Reading and Northern, since they're right in my backyard. You've met Jamie. We've had lunch together after the Allentown show. She works for the Reading and Northern. So I texted her. I said, is this switcher an actual real engine that they use? And she sent me pictures back, and she said, yes, it is. And I'm looking at pictures online, and the one she sent, and the paint job that Lionel did on the one in the 2024 catalog was accurate about 8 years ago. Since then, they've changed the lettering, and it's still the green, black, and yellow, but it's the positioning of the lettering and the logo on it now. So it does the modern ones, if you go to see them right now, don't look like the one in the Lionel catalog. Okay. But then MTH recently released their MP15 switchers that are $200 cheaper than the Lionel Legacy. And I'm like, yeah, I'll go that route. They're dual motors. They won't overheat like these. I have 5 of these Legacy switchers by Lionel. They're great. I love them. But if you're running the smoke units and pulling a heavy train, they overheat and they time out. They start blinking and they won't move until they cool down. So I'll give the MTH, I think it's a Rail King version, but it's still highly detailed as the PS 3.0 sound unit in it. It's practically a Premier engine, It's just something I want to take a chance on. I have a few of their engines and love them, so that's where I'm at as far as the ordering with the catalog and that. And thanks for inviting me again to give the YouTube channel a plug.
You're quite welcome. I was going to do that last week, and didn't get to the live stream last week.
So, do you have a problem seeing me at all?
No, I can see you just fine.
Okay, that's good, because I mean your image is froze, but the audio is great, and I can see you working on the train, so that's good.
Yeah. So Papa John says he's from Toledo, Ohio. Actually, it's funny. That's where my family originally immigrated to in 1870, and then moved to Pittsburgh to work on the steel mills. So Papa John says he likes Pabst Blue too.
Oh yeah, I just went back to this, and people ask me, you drink that, and I'm like, there are so many beers out there right now that are so frilly and fruit flavored and everything, and I'm like, I want a beer that tastes like the beer my grandpa used to drink, And even though Pabst, back in the 70s, my dad would let me have a little sip of his, but it doesn't taste the same as it did in the 70s, but it still has a traditional beer flavor, whatever you want to call that now. I mean, I know you drink the Busch beer, and that's pretty good. I like that. So I did a how-to video recently on my Instagram page. Here,
Okay.
I'll go get it because it's right over here.
All right.
Okay. I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but I made a retaining wall. That's, it's very detailed. I even put some moss in it here, just a little dab of glue and some flocking. You want to know how I did this?
Yes, I want to know how you did that.
Save your cardboard egg cartons. Not the foam ones, but the cardboard ones, the lids. Just take the lid off of it, and on the inside of the lid has that stone-like texture. And you can cut your lid into pieces, make any shape stone you want. Now, these are almost G-scale size stones. When I do it again, I won't use this. But, yeah, you glue them on with Elmer's glue to a board of your choice. And then one of the techniques is if you take India ink, dilute it with water, and make like a antiquing wash like they do in when you do ceramics to fill in the little cracks to make them darker, the recessed areas. So it gives it texture.
Okay.
And you could use like a chalk from your chalkboard to make highlights, or use a pencil to make dark areas. Even where the cracks are, that's just a pen. I don't know if I can get to a crack. That's just a black ink pen that I made a jagged line to make it look like the stone was cracked. So it's a cheap way to help save the environment too, but it gives you, a lot of these Dungeons and Dragons guys, they make their dungeon tiles out of these things. This in foam, of course. But the problem was when it was drying, I used a hair dryer, and you can see how it bowed it. It bowed the board that I mounted it to, so it's arced.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a problem, because now I'm going to use it. I have it actually, just took it out where I put it. I have a tunnel over there, and I'm going to use this brickwork as the lining inside my tunnel. So it worked out for me that I was able to still use this in a capacity where it still had function and detail, because when inside of your tunnels, most people don't decorate. And it's so hard once you have your mountains in your tunnels built to get in there to decorate it. So this worked out pretty good for me. So
good. There's lots of different ways to build tunnels and scenery and stuff. Of course, you've seen Dave Griffin in all his projects.
Yep, I have. Hey, Hey, I have the pieces of foam right here ready to build because I have a lot of mountains to build. So Dave's my inspiration on that. I got my foam cutter, and I've used it so far on the other sections of the layout here, but
Papa John says,
yeah, I can't see the chat. So
oh, you can't?
yeah, I'm using my phone. So the chat, I'd have to bring my, I can't bring my laptop.
Microscope, yeah. Says, my grandpa used to know the owner of Goebel Beer. They used to drink from the vat at the factory.
Was it warm? Because I know the Yingling tour, if you take the tour down in Pottsville, the Yingling Brewery, they if you get one off the assembly line when they're doing the tours, a friend of mine that used to work with me got a job for him, and he said it if you guys come down, I'll hook you up with the good stuff, and if it's still warm, they said there's nothing like the beer that's fresh that comes right out from the I guess the fermenting process when it's still warm yet. So I haven't done the tour, but I've heard other guys say, oh yeah, it's awesome. I don't know if even though when I was in Germany in the army, when they had room temperature beer at some of the places, I wasn't a fan of it. So I don't know if I'd try it, but to Papa John or whatever, was it warm at the brewery there? You'll have to let me know, Dave, because I can't see. So
He says that I don't know.
Okay.
If it was warm. Yeah, I guess Yingling is one that you would drink warm. Well,
Here, you can borrow my soldering iron here.
Oh gosh. Oh shit.
That's a cheap Radio Shack one I just have here. So
I was sitting here and you said that, and I said, "Where's my soldering iron?" And me messing around here, that hit the cord, and now the hot end of the iron was leaning against my plastic cup.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow, this is not so good. So, hold on a minute. That's not what I want.
So you're going to Allentown on Saturday then?
That's the plan.
Okay, we gonna go out to eat again after, or what? I don't know what my plan is. I'll be there all day probably.
Let's see what's going on.
Okay.
If I have to be back or not.
We'll play it by ear. Hey, I called Just Trains of Delaware the other day. Your buddy, what is their name? Sandy or whatever her name is, or
yes.
But anyway, I talked to her husband because when D.A. Griffin was at their store in his hobby shop hop that he did there when he was visiting in Virginia, he did some footage of the store, and they had the MTH made waffle cars. They're box cars that have that embossed. You know what a waffle car is, Dave? Or
no, I don't remember.
It's a metal box car that's not smooth sided. It has a weird rectangle, almost like a pressed pattern to it, and they call them waffle cars. But in his video, they had a D&H one in there. So I called down and I asked him if they still had them. He said, yeah, we have a few. I said, bring it to Allentown, put it under the table. I said, I want one. I could get one on eBay right now, but I don't want to pay shipping and tax. That's the thing about train shows is it's tax free, and you can work out a deal right then and there. And their prices were already the same price that I could get it on eBay anyway. So I'm saving the shipping and tax. So I'll have to stop by to see her.
Yeah. Hold on. Get this in. I've never been to that store. That was interesting. I saw Dave's video.
Yeah, I've never been in that. Well, I was in one in Delaware back in the 90s, but I don't know if it was that store or not.
Okay.
That's back when I was in my G-Scale days, and we go down to Nicholas Smith, in Broomall, and I was with my dad and my uncle, and they talked about it was just over the border in Delaware on, what is it, Route 202 or something down in that area.
Right.
And my uncle ended up, I remember he bought it was a Burlington Northern Santa Fe, the orange and green, whatever the hell their paint job is. It was a GP38. It was brandy new, and it had the fans on the roof that would move if you blew on them, and that was like the new big thing back in the early '90s. Is those moving fans, the exhaust fans on the roofs. You know, now they have them motorized on your legacy, your higher end models and stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure if that was just trains in Delaware or not, or if, you know.
I have an HO that has a working fan. I think it has like a little a shaft in there with like a rubber band.
Yeah.
And yeah, it spins around. It's pretty cool.
Now, I have one in my. Oh, it's a TMCC. It's a PA1. I have the newer legacy D&H ones, but then they also made two in the early 2000s, and they had a motor for it. And that winds, I ended up disconnecting it because the motor for it that powers it, I don't know if it was the RPM on it. It just would scream. And I'm like, it was annoying. So I basically desoldered it and like, no, I don't need it. But
oh yeah, they make noise. Yeah.
It probably needs a little lube, but it was a dummy unit too. A dummy unit with a smoke unit in. I'm still looking for the powered unit, the TMCC one, and then I'll have all 4 PA1s that D&H own. So there's always little things at these train shows that you're looking for. My new thing is those K-Line Super Streets, those cars that run on the road.
I realize.
And was it Bachman had Easy Streets, their version of it. So,
okay.
But yeah, it's basically to animate a downtown section with cars that move around. I thought about using Carrera slot car track, like the 1/43 size, and just use a DC train remote to control the voltage to the track, and then just have Carrera cars driving around. But the track is to me is too wide and looks too toyish. It doesn't look realistic with the big slot in the middle. So
yeah, Del, hang on 1 second. I'm going to move cameras around here.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to disconnect for a second. How's that?
Your camera's working.
Okay. I just disconnected the document camera.
Yeah, you're not lagging at all now.
You have a USB extension cable. It goes down to the computer. Well, I have 2 of them, and one's good, and the other one's kind of sketchy. So let's work with what we got. I got as far as I can with this loco here. There's something else wrong. The center wheel isn't staying on the gears, so that it's not working. How you doing, Mike? Hang on a second. Hey, Mike, I'm the only one here today. There's a little bit of trash in there. That's it. So,
okay, thanks,
yeah.
Dave. All right, dude.
So, yeah, so I got so far the motor works on that nice and smooth. So we'll let it go at that. I get home. I had another engine I was going to work on, and I just well, not this time.
Hey, you ready for that beer yet or not? Well, here.
After the cleaning guy leaves. I don't think anybody cares anyhow.
I don't think so.
put all this stuff away.
Oh boy.
You working a late shift now?
Yeah, I'm on back on night shift now, so it's an adjustment. I used to love night shift. I still like it. It's just that being older now, the adjustment, my days off, trying to get back on the sleeping pattern, it has been horrible. So I didn't have that. I'm older now. I don't like driving at night anymore. We're falling apart, Dave, as we get older. So yeah, I'm back on night shift. What I didn't say was our next show is going to be February 23rd. It's a Friday. I think it's the 23rd at 8 p.m. is going to be our next show on the 3Rail 4 Dads. We're going to be this one is going to be about how we got into the hobby, sort of like what I was talking with you here a little bit. But there's going to be some picture montage from when we were younger and go more in depth so that the viewers get to know a little bit more about us. And there'll be some surprises along the way with that too. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I used to hate the YouTube thing, but now I look forward to it because it's a way to hang out and connect with more of my online friends. So.
Yeah, it gets a little addicting though. You got to be careful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a once a month show, which is more than enough for me because we were talking about, some people named their railroads. I don't know. Do you have a name for your HO scale layout or your O scale? Do you have a name of it?
Yes and no. Unofficially, it's South Park. And everybody laughs, but it's actually, there's a South Park in Pennsylvania, south of Pittsburgh. And that's where I grew up.
Well, see, there's meaning to you then. And right. That's what a lot of people do that. They'll have a meaning for it. And I'm like, I don't have a name for mine. I said I should name it Quicksand Junction because of how slow the progress has been on my layout. Or Molasses Swamp, you know what I mean? Because there's times where I go gung-ho and I get a lot of stuff done. I've been doing a lot of wiring lately. Here, I'll turn my transformer on. I don't know if you see behind me. I got almost 90% of my pre-war stuff illuminated on the back there. So
nice.
And I got
Fubar for a name. Papa John, he says, well, he hated third shift. And he says, I like Fubar for a name.
Fubar. So my recent soldering project were these little quick disconnect ones that are the size for fast track.
Uh-huh.
And they fit on the metal prongs that are under the track, but they don't really grip too tight. So I had to solder my leads onto there because I want to be able to run my post-war stuff as well as my line chief modern stuff on that track because and you have to direct wire it, so I had to hard solder them on the front and the back because I only have a 3 foot by 7 foot loop that I'm using in the middle back here, and it's two feeder wires is more than enough to keep constant voltage around that little loop. So I don't know, because on how many feeders do you have on your O scale underneath the HO layout there?
Just one.
Just one? Does it die out on the back side if you're trying to run like 10 to 12 volts or so?
I don't have any problem. As a matter of fact, when I first started a couple years ago, I was having troubles with it. And I tried that, putting an extra feeder in. It didn't do anything. So I had to move the thing away from the wall and redo some of the track, like pull it up, clean the contacts, put it back together, and it's fine now. So yeah, no need for multiple feeders on that.
Yeah. Oh, I enjoyed watching your video when you were trying to crawl in behind your layout along the wall. You know, your 6 foot or your 6'6" size trying to squeeze in there, and it's like, oh, this is hilarious. This is hilarious.
I wasn't going to put it in there. I said, you know what? They're going to appreciate this.
Yeah, I did. And the thing was, you're doing Bill B's boxcar challenge. I think that's the video you were doing. And but then you also did the tail chaser challenge that you weren't even aware of.
Right.
So yeah, because the boxcar challenge was basically put all your boxcars on and run them at once. Well, if I did that, I couldn't put all my boxcars on to do the loop because most of us have more. If you've been around the hobby for a while, you have too many trains. You know what I mean?
You saw that one. You enjoyed that one, Papa John, with me crawling behind the layout? I was like, I don't want to do this.
Even the Smurfs were laughing at you. Ha ha.
Well, that's why it takes me forever to get stuff done on that layout, because I'm like, man, I don't want to take this all apart. I don't want to crawl behind there. Because you got to pick it up and shimmy it 3 inches, go to the other end, 3 inches this way, and then that's what it takes. So you get a foot or a foot and a half behind it, and it takes forever.
Yeah, at least on mine, when I built, because I can't go out any further on mine. That's why I went up 2 tiers, and it gave me 2 more additional loops and an area to display my pre-war stuff on top. So that was a priority to me because, I love modern Lionel and Atlas and MTH trains, but I also love the late pre-war era because they built some high quality pieces in that area that are gorgeous. And I've been lucky to get some of their nice, here, I'll show you quick here while I'm on a stand.
Well, while we're here, can you get behind your layout there, Del?
Oh, you want me to give you a tour?
No, I'm just wondering, can you fit back there? Is it tight against
Yeah, I left room in the back because in the front, I'm going to block off. What you see behind me is all going to be blocked off with walls and
many cabooses.
With those PGH Train Fanatic makes these.
Yeah, the wall.
He prints out realistic images, and you could have warehouses and stuff, and that's it's going to cover the front, but the back is it's all wiring and all open that I can get to. My cats love going back there because the radiator's back there, and they just lay by the radiator, especially this time of year, and that's where they hang out in the train room. They love being up. If I'm up here, there was a cat at my feet earlier, but he left now. I didn't pick him up to show you, but yeah, they love coming up in the train room. So,
Papa John says his claim to fame is his cabooses, and he's got over 400.
Wow.
I only have like 4 Lionel cabooses, but I got about 30 HO cabooses.
Wow. What scale does Papa John model in?
What did he say? I think he said HO. What scale are you in, Papa John? I think he's in HO. Well, he said he has some of those Tycos like I have, so yeah, okay, it is HO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I forgot to ask. Did you get to hang out with Sparky when you were up in Connecticut?
I did.
Okay, because you always ask me, do you know Sparky? And as soon as I went to his channel, because he just stepped back from making videos, didn't he? That was the first video I ever watched of him, was him saying, I'm going to take a break for a while. Is he still making videos, or is he done?
Well, as far as making videos, not a whole lot, but he's going back to doing live streams. He got frustrated with somebody, and he's just, kind of a little, I don't know, disgusted, a little something. And he just wanted to take a break. So that's good. I mean, you take a break instead of.
Oh, yeah. You can burn out real quick in this hobby, especially if you're doing social media, you know. And that's what people say, isn't your layout done yet? And it's like, dude, you don't understand. If it's not a work in progress, you're doing something wrong. If you ever finish your layout, that's not a good thing because you got to tear it down and start all over again. Because your layout's never finished.
He's making a few, Papa John. Yeah, he usually catch him on Friday night doing a live stream. And sometimes he has friends over, and sometimes he just does with the GoPro. Oh, that's right. He's got all those other cameras. He's got like 7 cameras all the way around. I forget what you call those. The motion activated cameras. Yeah.
Okay.
He was pretty busy up there at Amherst.
Okay.
Because he was helping out the mini prints guy. So he was at the booth helping people get organized and moving them around through the line and whatever, scanning. He had a little bit of time to go shopping. Yeah.
So he didn't come down to Bernie's this year, did he?
I saw him in October.
October?
Yeah.
Was that at Bernie's show?
Yeah.
Okay, he was there. And that was the first show Bernie had where I was off that weekend. And I'm dying to come up to hang out with you guys, with you and RJ, and stay at the hotel up at that show because it sounds like it's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And I was down in New Jersey for the weekend, and I couldn't get there. I had a prior commitment. Not a word.
I'm just kidding.
You're my hero, brother. You're my hero.
I have 2 in the fridge here. Scott Rails tore his layout down today. Oh, okay. Scott Rails tore his layout, not Sparky's layout. I was like, what? Somebody came in there, Sparky's? Yeah. The thing, the Bernie's train show up there, Holiday Inn Scranton East. It's nice to go up there and stay at that hotel because you don't have to go anywhere and it's fun. We need to find something to do. Yeah. Hello, John. Papa John. Yeah, I was like, wait, Scott went and tore up Sparky's layout. It's nice to go up there and stay in that hotel, and then you just walk down to the train show in the morning. Oh, but we need to find something different to do the night before.
Other than the setup, you mean, with the tables?
Well, the setup wasn't a big deal. I guess we need to go somewhere, I don't know.
Oh, like have a traditional dinner out with the guys. We go to a place or something. Yeah, okay, I get what you mean there. Yeah, because after if you're just gonna sit there and have a beers with the guy, well, I enjoy sitting there and having beers with guys and hearing stories, but yeah, it's for you to drive all the way that distance. I'm already probably an hour away from there. You're 2 hours away.
Hour and 45.
Hour 45. So it's closer for me to get up there. I could probably make it in under an hour, but still, yeah, I'm definitely going to make that show. And I want to go over to his store. I haven't been. Is that in Dunmore or Duryea? Which one is that in? Or DuPont? What?
I think it starts with a J, I thought.
J? Is it a J?
Dunmore. Actually, I think it's like 5 miles from that hotel.
It's great, yeah. Because up in that area, you got Dunmore. You got a lot of places. That's a big junction there where Interstate 84, 81 mix.
Yeah. I'm going to be about 10 more minutes, about 4 o'clock, and then I'm going to bug out of here.
Okay, no problem. This is your show. You invited me in. You can kick me out at any time, brother. So,
I was just curious if anybody would show up for an afternoon, and brought a couple trains to work on, and it kind of went okay.
Well,
I got the motor clean and the motor runs.
I happen to be off today. I just got back from running errands and shopping and stuff, and I'm like, oh, DB Tech's on, and I clicked on your video, and I'm like, holy shit, he's live. I'm cursing on your show.
That's okay.
So I told my wife, I'm going down to the basement and have a ciggy, and I'm gonna have a beer, and I'm gonna watch TV show. And then you say, "Hey, come on with me," and I'm like, "Oh no."
What is a
So
good show around Pittsburgh? Papa John's asking. Actually, there aren't too many. People from Pittsburgh end up going to Ohio, and the only train show near there is north of Pittsburgh at the Monroeville Mall, or
what
not the
about?
Monroeville Mall, the Monroeville Expo Center, something like that.
I thought they had a
Cranberry.
big one at Fort Pitt just recently out there.
Well, that might just be a display. I mean, I don't know if it's as a train show as in sales. Is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's a big train show at Fort Pitt.
Okay.
So that's another one that's out in the Pittsburgh area. I haven't been to that one, but I watch videos. That's the thing. You go to these, you watch these channels, and you're looking at their footage as they go around and show you the tables, and it's like, I need to go to this show. I would have bought that, you know. So
I've seen
Daxton
that a
does
couple
that.
of times.
Yeah.
Griff does that. He does videos of train shows,
Yeah,
and you're watching the video, and you're like, I wanted that.
I know. Every time I haven't been to the Edison show yet, and I'm like, I haven't been to the Oak show, and it's like, those are two that I want to get to, and I haven't been there yet. And it seems like every time either Griff or Dackman, they'll post the footage of the tables, and it's like, oh, I could have had that car. It was there. But hey, it gives me something to look forward to the next show. So,
Papa John, that's interesting you ask, because a couple people have asked me about train shows around Pittsburgh, and I was thinking I should host a train show like south of Pittsburgh, like in the area where I grew up, because nobody has one out there. And I was thinking, what would it take to? Well, I was talking to Bernie about that. What's it take to host a train show, or organize one? You have to get a place to have it, do the advertising, organize vendors, things like that. So, I mean, you're not going to make a ton of money, but for the fun of the hobby, you get a little bit.
yeah, there's not much money in it. It's just,
Well, that's what Bernie says. He makes enough to make it worthwhile.
yeah.
It's not a ton, but I guess, well, I don't know how much, but it's, a couple thousand or something for the weekend. So it's enough to cover the aggravation,
Yeah.
and, so people come in and, oh, yeah, here's one, though. I brought this one in also. I got this one. Yeah, I got this one in Amherst. And actually, I took it apart, and there's one wire that's broke. And the rest of it looks like it's pretty good. And I'm looking at this, and I'm thinking, this is broken. Well,
That little notch.
yeah. The other side's broken exactly like it. And I was like, what the heck? So I was at home, and I thought, well, let's see if I got a different shell that would fit. And, yeah, you're absolutely right, Papa John. It keeps the train flow moving. Yeah, people bringing you trains. So I'm thinking this is lifelike. So I have a Union Pacific engine, just like this, and has the exact same notches in it. So
that's their mold that's stupid. That's right where the fuel tank is underneath. But that's,
yeah, because you're thinking, what happened? Somebody broke it. Papa John, yeah, that's what he was saying. Bernie owns a train shop. Excuse me. He owns a train shop.
Jessup. He's in Jessup, PA.
That's it, Jessup.
That's where it is.
Starts with a J.
Yeah.
And as we said, he owns a train shop, and people come in with boxes of stuff, and he's like, I got no place to put it. I can't take it. So here's what this looks like on the inside. Pretty simple. Oh, I know, that's an AHM. And I decided that because if you look,
is that the
here,
motor in the front, like a single motor drive in the front? Is that what that is?
the motor's actually in the back.
Oh, that's the back side. Okay, I saw the round shroud there. So it has a single motor on it. Okay.
Yeah. So I decided this must be an HM. If you could tell how that comes apart there. In other words, you turn it
And it
push
locks
in.
in. Okay.
And that's the way AHMs generally are, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, that's what he said, Papa John. Bernie there owns the train shop. He's like, people come in and want to sell their stuff, and he said people just come in and want to give it away. He's like, I'm cleaning out my uncle's house, and here. So reminds me of Model Power. That's what I thought originally, because of the way the notches on the side. But I don't know. It might be. But yeah, if you saw my Amherst train show haul video, you'll see that. What's this? Oh, this was wrapped up in there. Got to keep it protected, man. Got to wrap them back up in the foam.
All right, it's 4 o'clock. Are you heading out here now, or?
A couple minutes.
Okay.
No rush. So you got pre-war and post-war going on, huh?
I have everything O gauge right now. Yes. I post-war is not a big one for me. I love post-war accessories. You know, anything that's animated, because with my grandkids, my granddaughter loves the horse corral and the horse cart, because that works a lot better than the old. Well, you have one of the cattle corrals that you have to have. The stars have to align for that to work perfectly. You know what I mean? Getting the voltage correct for the corral and voltage for the car at the same time, it's tough. But the horse one works a lot better. So she loves playing with the horses. So
You have to do a video on that.
And I love the like the magnetic crane. You know, the post-war accessories I love. The trains, I have some, but most of my old trains are the late pre-war expensive ones, actually, like the 763 Hudson. I love that engine. It's the problem back in that era was the die cast and the compounds they used and the mixtures. You had all that crazing and you get the warp of everything. Mine still runs, but that cow catcher is barely above the track, so I have to watch on that. So thank goodness mine still runs. And yeah, I did that late pre-war era. If World War II never happened, I would have loved to see what Lionel actually made in the next few years. And because when they had to stop, they were going into scale, like in 1940, 41, they were going to scale O gauge and making things highly detailed. And it's, you know, they had to take that break. And when they came back from the break, it was a completely different design. But we got some beautiful trains, you know, like I said, you and I both have the turbine from the late 40s there. I have, what else do I have? My little 221. It's right behind me here. You know, you got the Dreyfus Hudson in 1946.
Now, what do you call that kind of engine, that body style?
And it's like
Vanderbilt?
It's the Dreyfus Hudson.
Dreyfus.
Yeah, you know, they just came out in last year's catalog with the legacy scale one that they messed up the paint. But it's like they were building stuff that they saw around them at the time, you know, and here I am 80 years later, you know, and I'm just drooling over this stuff that they made years ago, you know, because it's heavy as hell, you know, compared, you know, these were built well. Love the old trains. Post-war, not so much, but the pre-war, pre-war and early post-war, I really love that era. And I love my modern stuff, you know, because I have, 3 Reading and Northern engines on order from last year, waiting for them to come. I love all aspects of the hobby. And I'm not sort of locked into, oh, you're from this school of thought, or that my lower level is going to be high
You like it.
Yeah, I don't mind running tin on top and cheap stuff in the middle and post-war, and then having highly detailed at the bottom. I can run it all here, and
I'm
I
kind of
love
stuck
that.
on post-war, and I'll tell you why. I mean, that's what one of the first steam engines I bought, and I learned how to fix them real easy, and they run great. And I keep finding them. Now I have one or two pre-war, and I'm not real crazy about the tin plate thing. I mean, they're
I'm
cool.
not either. I have some template cars, but not engines.
Yeah. And I'm just at a point like, let's focus on one thing, because you start collecting pre-war, and you got pre-war, and you got post-war, and then you have all kind of stuff. And then what was the other thing? Marks. So I had a Marks train one time, and I took it home. It was $5. And I fixed it. And I was like, oh, that's neat. I said, I got to quit collecting it. I got to stop right now.
Yeah, Mark's made some awesome lithograph. I look at that at the shows, and I have more Mark's buildings than I do trains, because of the lithographs they used back then were so highly detailed. And I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, a lot of the toys were metal, and you'd get cut on the toys, those sharp edges and things when you were kids. We had a refrigerator and oven and kitchen set, and it was all metal that you could play with. And I remember so many times getting cut on the sharp corners of these toys.
The Tonka toys.
Yeah. Well, Tonka were a little more rounded, but the ones that were a little before that, yeah. So it was a different era. It was a different era, and I have a high appreciation of things that are well built. I mean, every
Papa
building
John
on
says,
the top shelf is all metal on here.
Yeah. Papa John says, I have 4 Dreyfuss Hudsons. One is DCC, all HO. I never remember seeing a Dreyfuss in HO.
Oh, Dreyfuss is a gorgeous engine. It really is.
Huh.
Doesn't matter what scale it's in. It was ahead of its time, and it's iconic. So,
real quick before we go, so you like the accessories? What accessories do you have, and what accessories do you want?
it should be, what accessories don't I have?
Okay.
They're all buried under my layout. I mean, I have the cranes, coal loaders, the coal ramps. Oh my God, I don't even want to pick it up. Oh, I'm gonna end up destroying it. The coal ramps.
Okay.
The unloaders. Like I said, my granddaughter loves the horse corral. This is the circus train one. She likes the white horses, not the black horses.
That's interesting.
So, and the merchandise cars. You got the milk cars that unload onto the milk platform. I think you did a video restoring one of these, didn't you?
Yep.
Well, I got the culvert loader, unloader. My favorite accessory of all time, I think it's the 264. Actually, it's right here. If I don't break it, trying to get it out underneath the layout. The forklift driver.
That is so cool.
That loads and unloads the boards from, he unloads the boards from the car. It fascinates me how they do it on a cam and a string and a vibration motor.
1950s. Yeah.
How the heck did you guys do this? This is my favorite accessory because I just buy jaw drops. And there's so many animated cars. You got the Mo and Joe. You got the merchandise car that shoots out the Baby Ruth. Where the heck car? They're around here somewhere. The Baby Ruth crates that shoots it out the side. I mean, there aren't many accessories I don't have, but I have no room. I just took them all off the layout when I did the expansion where I went up.
Do you have the barrel loader?
Yep, I got the barrel loader. He's right here. I got the version with the white guy on it. They did a version with the blue guy and the white guy.
I got the blue
And
guy.
he's one of the few accessories that I'm going to keep out on my modern layout. This one, the ice house that loads the ice cubes,
The ice house is cool.
because they're narrow and they can fit in smaller areas. Some of these take up real estate, like my culvert loaders that pick up the pipes. You need like a at least 3 feet square in order to fit the track in. And if you're not running the tubular track and and using semi-scale cars, you're going to have some issues. You can't run the big trains through there, because I have some high cube cars that are modern, and so I gotta sort of keep the accessories blended in with the modern, and not, I can't have everything back out. You know,
The accessories do take up some space.
yes, they do. Like I said, I removed a lot of them, so that I could put, more trains running. Get my priority was get my pre-war out on top there, because those are some iconic pieces. And like I showed you, got the Hellgate Bridge on the side here.
So that's an actual Lionel accessory?
Yes, it is.
I've seen that on a couple layouts, and people mentioned it, and I didn't realize that's actually a Lionel accessory.
Yes, it was from 1929 to 41. The green version that I have was, they call it the first version, the early version. That one was from, like I said, from 29 to probably 34, 35. And then the later version had the red and cream color with the silver rails on the side. But that was actually a York purchase that I got for a decent price. Usually at York on that kind of stuff, you don't get a decent price.
Papa John says that's nice. I guess it's Hellgate Bridge or the I guess that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh, here, let me put the lights back on. There's all these buildings on the top of the top layout. They're all, it's gonna be hard to see. They're all metal. They're all pressed metal.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, those little villas and that. But the 129 Terrace Station, those are the original lampposts on it, and they get snapped off over the years. And
is that the middle? Is that City Hall or a hospital?
It's a station.
Okay, train station. Okay.
Yeah, and then you got the iconic power station over there. That's the early version from the early 30s.
Wow.
Because they had little brass throw switches to power your layout back then. And when they made them the more modern version of it, when I say modern, we're talking later 30s, they moved the throw blades to power. They moved it to the opposite side. So that's how you can tell the difference between an early version, and the base is also a different color green. I don't put my base out with it because
John likes all your stuff.
Who does?
Be your new best friend. Papa John likes all your accessories.
I mean, how can he not love this? This stuff is timeless. A lot of this stuff is approaching 100 years old, and it's still, a lot of my pieces have chip paint on. I'm not a collector. I want to play with it and enjoy my trains. So but the station platform there with those globe lamps and that on it, to find them with the original, I got lucky. That and the power station, they were eBay purchases. But the big thing with it was local pickup. And so that wipes out 90% of the bidders on the auction.
Right.
And the Terrace station, actually, the guy, he lived or worked 2 miles from Nicholas Smith Trains. So after I won that auction, I paid up for that one, but that has the original box and liner too that I don't need. The box is falling apart. It's almost 100 years old. I hate boxes in a way, but I would never get rid of it because where you don't find stuff that has the box and a liner from that era. Very few pieces. And the power station was on eBay out in Arizona. And my mom lived in Phoenix at the time. and the seller was it was like a husband and wife consignment shop that somebody brought something in. And I got that so dirt cheap because they had local pickup only. And people would cry if they knew what I paid for an original power station in that condition. And that's how I ended up with this. It was just a matter of timing and people available to pick stuff up for me, because they go anywhere from $600 to over $1,000 for those things. Now,
Wow.
well, that was back then. Now you see, here's another aspect of the hobby we could talk about is prices. We go to the shows and you're buying post-war, and post-war is the most flooded market right now because they mass produced so many things back in that era, and there's very few people who collect that now. So you have huge collections come in the market that nobody wants. And I got to be careful saying that because I'll probably piss people off. But you can get a lot. If you're just starting out in a hobby, I tell people go post-war, because you can get cars. You can go to the trade show and get a coal car for $5 with operating couplers and that that's where you start. If you don't have a budget, start with the cheaper stuff until you figure out what you want to do. Because this is my third layout, because my first one was a 4x8, then a 5x9, and then I just completely evacuated the room of everything else in it. And now where I'm at now, 14 feet by 10 feet by, I wanted 072 curves, because a lot of your pre-war trains that are bigger, like the Hiawatha and the big yellow banana, they need 072 to run them. And that was my goal. I need to get 072 curves, and that's what I did with this layout. It wasn't about the modern big boy vision line for $2,000-$3,000. No, it was about the pre-war engines that required it back then, and because they are a priority for me, But I still love modern. I still buy modern. And you saw this engine at the Hennings Run for Fun. The weathered. The HO guys will like this. Yeah, the HO guys will like this because it's highly weathered, and it has the spark arresters on the top that Lionel did too. I love that stuff too.
Randall's in the house. Actually, we're going to finish up here in a little bit, Randall. I started off by doing a Tyco repair, and it kind of went okay. And then I invited Dell here. We're talking about O-gauge stuff. So thanks for joining, Randall. Well, I like the accessories too, and I'm impressed with how simple they are. From 1950s.
Yeah.
My favorite one is the log loader, but I have no place to put it.
Which one? The silver one with the red belt, or like the pre-war era with the chains with the hooks?
The pre-war with the chains.
Yeah, I have that one. I just took it off the layout. It's in the spare room because it takes up a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
And
I was impressed with I got it working and everything too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the light bulbs on that with that single wire that connects them. It's like, how did we not have house fires back then? But I still have knob and tube wiring in my house in certain sections. Which
John likes your switcher.
Oh, he likes the switch. Yeah, because I love weathered stuff, and that's what there's so many different aspects of the hobby I love. And it's like, it's not just one era, one style, and this is like a joke thing here anymore, but like the Willy Wonka engine that came out this year, that Lionel really disappointed on because they didn't have any movie sounds in it. And it's like, man, there's some cheers and jeers that go along with all manufacturers, and that's, to me, was a flop. Once they came out and we realized that they didn't have the movie sounds, because one of my favorite engines is my Scooby-Doo, because he has Scooby talking and all kind of sayings, and it's like this is great. This is fun. There's, like I said, that's a quirky side. The kids love that. I love it. You know what I mean? But there's times when I want to do some yard switching and I want to take a switcher and move cars around and make it more realistic railroading that most guys that are involved in HO and that side of the hobby, I like that too. I like all aspects. There's times I want to play. I come up here, if I'm having a bad day, you just turn a train on and there's no stress. It just washes it all the way. You know what I mean? So
Papa
I think
John
we all
bought
agree on
O
that.
gauge for $60. Excuse me, $60. I hear an echo once in a while. That's why my voice sounds funny.
Well, I'm losing mine. I was sick all week and I'm surprised I'm able to talk right now. So
you have a video of it, of what you bought there for $60? Did you get just an engine or a whole set? I think the least amount that I paid for an O gauge Lionel post-war, I think, was $15. I think I did buy one for $5. There was one that 2064. Oh, that's right. Yes, I just bought one at Amherst for $5. So that's the next project.
Yep. And bringing them back to life, a lot of them need new wiring. And my 726 Berkshire, which is from 1946, I was running that the other day to do a Instagram post, and I could smell, and I saw smoke coming out of the back of it, and that needs some heavy lube and the wiring needs to be done on that, because that's the problem with these old engines is everything's brittle. The insulation, it's that cloth insulation, and they use solid core wire back then on a lot of them. And you have to be careful, and I'm not a collector, like I said, so I don't mind removing wiring and put modern wiring on because I want to run it and enjoy it. And when I'm dead, they can do whatever they want with it, But yeah,
John says just an engine, a switcher for $60. So
I
that's
tell
about
people,
what the switcher you had was $60 or $100, something like that, or is it the red switcher you had? Do you remember what you paid for it?
Yeah, well, they were in the catalog in 2018, that Lehigh Valley, for $400 some. But
you bought that new?
But I bought that. No, I bought it 2 years ago. That's from Henning's Trains down in Lansdale.
Right.
That was out of Bill Henning's private collection.
Oh, okay.
And nothing's for sale in the Henning's boys collection.
Right.
I made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and that's how I got that engine off of it. Because I like, I might be a D&H fan, but I also have the Lehigh Valley flag I fly too. And I got the Reading and Northern on my hat right here. So, that was coming home with me that day, whether, no matter what. And I overpaid for it, but how else, he put the time and energy into weather that. There's a cost with that. I don't care who you are. You've got guys that have been weathering cars for years that are masters at it. They added the spark arresters. They try to make it period correct. I'll pay for that, because I have an art background and I can weather and shade. I showed you that brickwork I did there with the arts and crafts project that I did my tunnel lining there. But to have a special piece out of somebody's private collection that has been, well known, I didn't mind paying up a little bit for that. So it wasn't no $1,600. No.
Randall Elson says CS Tyco stuff looks great, just not the greatest runners. I like my Tycos, especially the Mantuas. They take a little bit of cleaning and maintenance, but I can get them running smooth and I can get them running fast. And I just like the Tycos. They're actually not that hard to work on. And I got tons of them. And Cowboy Steve says he hates Zoom meetings. I do too. And I tell you why. Because people want to have these stupid Zoom meetings and then they don't even turn on the camera. And so you're looking at like all these little icons with like a circle with initials in it. You're like, well, why are we having a Zoom meeting? Could we just had a phone call and been done with this in 15 minutes? But somebody wants to have a Zoom meeting and use up your time. And it's like you got a camera and nobody uses it. It's just morons. Okay, I'm done with that. All right, folks. Yeah, I was going to leave at 4. I got to lock up the building here. So yeah, this started out as a Tyco repair, and I got so far with it and kind of gave up. And then Dell, talk about your channel again. Give that a quick boost, and then we'll call it a day.
Well, it's not really my channel. I'm one member of a new channel that came out. We started in January. I know most of your viewers are HO guys, but it's called 3 Rails, 4 Dads. It's four guys that have kids, or at my age, I have grandkids now, and we're passionate about O-gauge trains. You can find us on YouTube at 3 Rails, 4 Dads. It's a quirky name, but it works. And it's eventually going to be a podcast here as we upload in the future. Our next show is going to be February 28th at 8 p.m. And we'd like you to join us because we go live because people like the interaction of the live chat. You know, we do other shows that are pre-recorded, but live is the main thing because I watch a lot of live. You come into Nick's, you're a mod on Nick's channel. You know what it's, when you come there, you get to hang out with your friends. You get to be part of a community. And that's what we want to have happen there. So thanks for having me in and having a beer with me at work. I don't know how you do that, brother. You're my hero. But
I'm the only one here.
That's okay.
Since the showstopper, nobody shows up for work anymore. So it's just me and a building full of computers that I have to fix.
Well, you're a valued commodity.
Cool. See you Saturday.
I'll be there the 24th
Maybe I'll talk to you before then. And thanks, Randall and Cowboy and Papa John for joining. All right. We'll catch you another time. Maybe I'll do this next week or something.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks
cool.
Again.
Peace.
Bye.